with that being said, let's get right into it. This artistic representation narration features cases of data expunged. I have added my own content to this SCP file to fill in the blanks. Enjoy SCP Illustrated.
General notice. All files concerning the nature of SCP-001, including the decoys/decoys, are protected by a memetic kill agent designed to immediately cause cardiac arrest in any non-authorized personnel attempting to access the file.
Hold on, wait, we're only 16 seconds in. You're telling me that if you don't have access, you try looking at this, you will have a cardiac arrest. Your heart's just fucking dead. Okay. I keep forgetting
Revealing the true
Foundation's
nature of
crazy.
SCP-001 to the general public is cause for execution.
Really?
Warning. Any non-authorized personnel accessing this file will be immediately terminated through a memetic kill agent. You have been warned.
257.
Continued life signs confirmed.
257? Why do I feel like that's actually hinting at different SCP?
Removing safety interlocks. Item. SCP-001. Object class Euclid/Keter.
That looks cool.
Description. SCP-001 is a humanoid entity approximately several hundred cubits in height, or 320 meters, located in an undisclosed location near the intersection of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The following features are known about the entity. A number of luminous wing-like appendages emerging from the shoulders, back, temples, ankles, and wrists of the entity. Although an accurate count has never been established, most observers place the number of wings at anywhere from 2 through 108, with the mean number being 4.
108 wings? Why has it got so many? Well, granted, apparently this guy's built like a skyscraper, but seriously, 108 wings.
A weapon, possibly a knife or a sword, classed SCP-001-2.
Either a knife or a sword, all my brain could think of. That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's what my brain came up with.
Any entity that approaches within 1 kilometer of SCP-001 is immediately struck by the weapon and obliterated from existence. Any and all hostile action taken towards SCP-001 have resulted in the annihilation of the attacker, regardless of range. SCP-001 appears to be standing with its head bowed in a gesture of supplication, with SCP-001-2 held in both hands point down in front of it. Human beings exposed to SCP-001 report hearing a voice in their heads, giving them a directive which the subject reports cannot be disobeyed. The most common directive is forget, which results in the subject walking away from SCP-001 with no memory of having encountered it. On rare occasions, however, other directives have been given. The most famous of these is the one given to the founder. Prepare. This is the organization now known as the SCP Foundation.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense okay, yeah. I did a video not too long ago where it said that there were multiple different versions of how the SCP came about. And one of them was the Gate Guardian. And I had said that doesn't make sense because why is there a Gate Guardian? If he is able to give commands which you are unable to not do, then it makes a lot of sense for one of them to be prepare, and then you're stuck having to actually get ready. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. But now I'm confused on if they have ever... What's the word I'm looking for? If they've ever had a tracker on what words he's done to see what commands have all been said. That way, in case anybody else has been said, prepare, or see if the Gate Guardian has told anybody, like with the factory. In the factory one, it was the cultists who did it. I wonder if they were told to make the SCPs by the Gate Guardian.
Observers have reported that SCP-001 appears to be standing in front of a gate of immense proportions. long-range photographs have occasionally detected what appears to be a pastoral grove within, containing numerous other entities of the same composition of SCP-001, as well as several fruit trees of unknown composition. Of particular note are 2 fruit trees of immense proportion near what appears to be the centre of the grove.
He's gating the Garden of Eden. That's what that's got to be. It's the Garden of Eden, with that being the what was it called? Tree. My brain immediately said tree of life, but that is not right. It had the 2 fruits, the forbidden fruit.
One, it is noted, appears to be an ordinary apple tree, although the other bears a fruit unknown on Earth, described as the tree of the fruit of life.
Yeah.
It is a avowed belief of the founder that the gate which SCP-001 guards may be the gate to data recovered, administrator clearance accepted, the Garden of Eden, based on correlations with ancient Babylonian texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls, in which case one can deduce that the entity known as SCP-001 may be data recovered, administrator clearance accepted, Uriel, the Angel of Repentance, the angel tasked by God to protect the Garden of Eden, and the angel who buried Adam and Abel in the garden. Special containment procedures. Because of the nature of SCP-001, no containment procedures are necessary. 24/7 monitoring of SCP-001 is to take place from a safe 10 km plus distance from the determined location, Site 0. The location of Site 0 is known only to the current SCP Administrator and the single Overseer level agent of Abrahamic Faith, 0514.
0514. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I'm now a little bit confused, because if you have to monitor this, would they have to do specific testing to make sure that, one, you don't get a religious nut who's going to try to break into the Garden of Eden, which would then put the SCP Foundation into a very awkward position, because technically a person's trying to break into and, in a sense, attacking the Gate Guardian, which we've already heard can strike you down from anywhere. But then you also have to have kind of a understanding of the religion if what they're saying is correct about this being the Guardian of Eden. I can't ever say the name. Don't ask me to say it. Please don't. But if that's true, wouldn't you want somebody that specifically knows the religion and has read the books? That way we have a better understanding of what it is that we're looking at. But at the same time, if you do it that way, you'd have even more issues with people seeing it. They're going to want to
Assigned to monitor.
they're going to want to then spread the words. So then if you do the trick with, I think it's SCP-3000, which is the one that makes them forget the mucus that comes off of him, then you're going to be able to make them forget. Or if you have the Gate Guardian tell them forget, and they forget, wouldn't that then make it even more confusing for the SCP Foundation, because then it might accidentally hit all of them? Okay, that was a long-winded explanation of so many things could go wrong with this.
SCP-001 from Site 0. Said agent is authorized to take any action necessary should SCP-001 become inactive, and is required to immediately alert the Administrator and all other Overseer-level agents should SCP-001 show any change in behavior, as this may constitute the beginning of a Patmos X-class end-of-the-world scenario. Should SCP become active in any way, personnel are required to immediately consult the Patmos series of emergency orders. Decoding algorithms for emergency order Patmos are to be maintained on site at Site 0 in the possession of the designated observer and to be transmitted to the SCP Foundation offices only in the event of SCP-001 becoming active. In case of a premillennial rapture scenario, all vital personnel are to designate a secondary operative of non-Abrahamic faith. Said secondary operative is to be informed of the location of the primary designate copy of emergency procedure Patmos and mimetic kill agent inoculant, and is to be kept on ready status to take over the primary duties as necessary. Addendum 001-A Experimentation regarding SCP-001-2's effective kill range. Experiment A.
Why?
One Class D personnel instructed to approach.
Why? Why are we throwing people at the Angel to see, hey, how good can this thing kill? If we have the idea of, hey, this is one of God's angels, we should go ahead and have the idea of this thing can be anywhere at any time and already have you dead if you even think of it. Why are we doing this?
SCP-001 as closely as possible on foot. Result. Upon making visual contact with SCP-001, the subject is ordered to leave. Subject immediately turns away from the entity and walks away. Despite repeated orders to continue the experiment, Class D personnel refuses to obey and is terminated. Upon termination of Class D personnel, all research staff involved are immediately obliterated by an unknown force, presumably SCP-001-2. Experiment B.
Exactly! He's not... You are basically taking a steak and putting it in front of a hungry dog, and instead of giving it the nice steak, you're just slapping it. You are playing with a force that you shouldn't be playing with.
One remote-operated research robot guided to approach SCP-001 from the ground. Upon approaching within 1 kilometer of SCP-001, research robot is obliterated, presumably by SCP-001-2. All further attempts at remote reconnaissance have the same result. Experiment C. 100 pre-programmed research drones instructed to approach SCP-001 from multiple angles simultaneously. Coordination is successful, and all 100 drones cross the 1 kilometer mark simultaneously. However, all 100 are simultaneously obliterated by SCP-001-2. Designated observer at Site 0 reports that SCP-001-2 appeared to strike in all directions at once. SCP-001 did not deviate from its stance while this took place. Experiment D. Wire-guided missile fired from a distance of 3 kilometers. SCP-001-2 obliterates weapon upon crossing the 1 kilometer mark, simultaneously obliterating the launch site and killing all personnel. Experiment E. Multi-warhead intercontinental
How many experiments did we have to do?
ballistic missile fired from SCP nuclear submarine Nautilus. Data redacted. Data recovered. Administrator clearance accepted. Experiment E. Multi-warhead intercontinental ballistic missile, multi-warhead thermonuclear, fired from SCP nuclear submarine Nautilus. SCP-001 is seen to raise its head from its stance of supplication, previously unseen behavior. Administrator at 0514 order an immediate abort mission. Upon crossing the 1 kilometer boundary, the missile is struck by SCP-001-2 and consequently detonates. Approximately 1 hour later, long-range surveillance can see through the smoke and shows SCP-001 still in the same position. However, its wings appear to be wrapped around its body. It is assumed this is to protect it from the heat or the radiation, though this is not known. SCP-001 then enters what can only be described as a rage state. SCP-001 extends its wings to a previous position and then raises and points SCP-001-2 towards the direction of the SCP submarine Nautilus, some 65 miles away, and out of SCP-001's line of sight. At this moment, all remaining thermonuclear warheads on board the SCP submarine Nautilus detonated.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, y'all angered it. Congratulations. I mean, what is next? Are y'all just going to find some random world killing, multi universal killing thing to try and throw at this thing? Genuinely, there is nothing you can do to harm it. Plus, if it had the wings, now I wonder if it is able to. It can't. I don't know what the move is, but where it flaps its wings and everything just moves away from it.
The Nautilus, 4 SCP aircraft carriers, 24 SCP escort vessels, several merchant vessels, and a luxury yacht were obliterated in the
Why was there a
subsequent
yacht?
blast. The death toll is estimated at 35,000. This incident represented one of the biggest uses of amnestics and Foundation influence. The entire surrounding ocean for a distance of 30 miles in all directions was restricted. Local news outlet was screened and monitored for no mention of this experiment. The families of the merchant vessels and yacht were terminated to avoid questioning.
You murdered entire families because y'all were idiots and decided to poke a bear, a majestic, angelic, God sent bear. I just want to make sure I understand that instead of dealing with the repercussions of your actions, you decided to just kill random people.
Sticks were added to the water supply and released via chemtrails over all countries within a 100-mile radius. By executive order of the Administrator and O5 Council, no nuclear weaponry is ever to be used against SCP-001. Experiment F. SCP-076, Abel, and Task Force Omega-7 instructed to approach SCP-001 on foot. SCP-076, Abel, refuses to carry out the mission, despite not being informed of the mission's nature. Upon being asked why, SCP-076 replies, "No. Just no." Experiment G.
Abel. You're telling me there's a actual SCP of the Abel? As in first murder Abel. Man who did first sin. Well, can't really call him that. That
SCP
No, Cain was the murderer. Why is Abel here? Hold
and
on.
O5 Council, no nuclear weaponry is ever to be used against SCP-001. Experiment F. SCP-076, Abel.
It's now even more confusing. Because Abel should be dead, right? Because Cain was the murderer. He used a jaw, an animal jaw. Also, what is that sword? That looks really cool. I want that sword. It looks really, really cool. But it does not seem efficient with that little chunk missing out of the bottom part.
And Task Force Omega-7 instructed to approach SCP-001 on foot. SCP-076, Abel, refuses to carry out the mission, despite not being informed of the mission's nature. Upon being asked why, SCP-076 replies, "No. Just no."
I don't blame him at
Experiment G. SCP-073, Cain. Due to the result of Experiment F, SCP-073 was not informed of his destination until arriving at Site 0. SCP-073 approached the site on foot. Upon seeing SCP-001, SCP-073 became distressed and asked to abort. SCP-073 was ordered to continue. At this point, the symbol on SCP-073's forehead became...
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this?
Administrator clearance accepted. Data recovered. At this point, the symbol on SCP-073's forehead became unrecognizable. SCP-073's head appeared to split apart, and an incredible bright light seemed to be coming from it, resulting in 3 security personnel going blind. Experiment was terminated due to the effect this had on SCP-073.
So they have Cain and Abel. Why are the first sons here? And where can I learn on how they joined the SCP? Because they would be over, what, 1,000,000 years old or something?
SCP-073 began begging SCP-001 to stop, stating, "Please, my lord. Please, Uriel. I do not seek to enter the garden. Forgive me, my lord. Please, forgive me." 073 was restrained in a Class 5 containment unit and immediately evacuated. Upon crossing 2 kilometers from SCP-001, SCP-073 lost consciousness. See Addendum 001-AA. Addendum 001.
Jesus. Okay, now I got a question. If the Garden of Eden's where the body of Adam was, Adam's his dad, why is he not allowed in the garden? Well, take it back. I know why he's not. Because he's not allowed due to the single fact that he tried killing his brother. But why wouldn't his brother want to do it? It doesn't make sense. Well, the Garden of Eden was supposed to be without sin. It's where the first sin took place. Yeah. Okay.
-AA. By executive order of the Administrator, no further experiments are to be carried out regarding SCP-001. No further SCPs are to be exposed to SCP-001. SCP-001 is not to be used to dispose of dangerous SCPs. Addendum. The following errant transmission was received by Foundation personnel. SCP-001 has left its location. The gate is open. They are riding forth. Oh god, it's so beautiful. Because of this event's confluence with the recent breach of SCP-995, the opening of SCP-616, and the activation of SCP-098, the Foundation is required to immediately begin preparations for an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. SCP-076 and SCP-073, Cain and Abel, are to be secured immediately. All personnel are to unlock and decode Emergency Order Patmos Omega and follow all orders within. Site 19 is to be secured, and all non-essential SCPs and personnel terminated and or destroyed. Cain and Abel, my two sons, I am coming. Behold, I stand at the gate and knock, and if any just follow, and is a new heaven and a new earth and the fruit of upon contacting Site 0, 05-14 responded that no such message had been sent from his location and that SCP-001 remained inert. The transmission was initially determined to be a hoax. However, close examination of the transmission reveals a timestamp dated years in the future. It is theorized that data expunged. Administrator clearance accepted. Data recovered. It is theorized that the gate to the Garden of Eden exists across all universes and versions of Earth. In one of those universes, set years in the future, an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario took place, and Site 0 from that reality broadcast the distress call. The distress call, by unknown means, seems to have travelled through the gate to our own reality.
So, in a different reality, the world's coming to an end. The distress call was sent. Distress call picked up in a different reality. They realized, hey, this isn't actually happening. We're okay. Wow, okay. Yeah, that would actually freak me out a lot. Especially because it's in your future. You would think that instead of it being a different reality, it's instead your reality. It's just time travel BS. And now I'm a little confused. What were all the other SCPs that said activated? Because none of those numbers I've heard before. I will say that looks really cool. Oh, hold on. SCP-001 has not moved from its position since blank. SCP-343 refuses to give further knowledge on SCP-001. Who's 343? Next time, SCP-432. Please comment your suggestions below. Subscribe to stay notified on new uploads. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed, because I surely did. I actually enjoyed this video by Mr. Illustrator. He does a phenomenal job. Highly suggest going over there, show some love for him. While over here at my channel, please like, subscribe, do me a little comment down. Comment down what it is you'd like to see next. Is it a actual SCP video? Is it trying to understand more about the lore? Trying to understand more about the Euclid classes? Y'all let me know. Tell me what channel to go to. Tell me what video y'all would like to see. While you're here, this right here is a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Right here is a way you can subscribe a little bit easier. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye!